you gorgeous, gorgeous animals! How are you guys doing today? My name is Anima, and today we have a post-commentated Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle to whet your taste buds this time against Aiden. Hello Aiden, thank you for appearing on the channel today. This is a UU tier match, and we got some pretty cool Pokemon. Yes, UU is actually the tier I am completely weakest at, which is probably why you don't really see that many UU matches on my on my channel. It's not like I avoid it specifically, it's that I find other tiers more fun, and because by default that's going to make me the weakest in that tier because I don't practice it enough. Practice makes perfect. Anyway, let's hit play, and you're going to see precisely what I saw. I'm lying when I say that, by the way. I hit play, and I kind of do, but I've already sped up the thing, so I'm commentating over it as it's sped up. I'm lying! Anyway, so he's going to lead with Bite Size, and I thought this was great for me because I'm just going to go for the Dark Pulse, I could U-turn, but he's actually Physical Scarf and goes for the U-turn and does gigantic damage to my Hydreigon. I was like, oh my god. So Syndragosa is quite weakened already, and this is extremely bad. I go for the Dark Pulse, just trying to do gigantic damage to the thingy, and it's not going to work out because Suicune comes out and goes, ha ha ha! So it's really bad. Anyway, Megan Fox is going to come to take the expected Scald or the Ice Beam. I was like, please don't be Crocoon, please don't be Crocoon. And yeah, we do take that like a champ. Megan doesn't mind getting a bit wet, so it's fine. We're going to go for the knockoff because it'd be good to get rid of the Suicune's passive recovery, as well as remove the item of whatever Pokemon wants to come in. I don't want to take a Zen Head, but Megan doesn't like getting headbutted, so I'm going to go into Flossie, my Hippowdon, to take the Zen Headbutt. Whoosha! It's going to do no damage whatsoever, so my opponent is going to fear the EQ, switching out, going into the Leafeon. This thing's a pain in the ass, by the way, spoiler alert. And we're going to use this opportunity to get up our stealth rocks. Yeah, PG. So, I do expect the Leaf Blade, so I go into Baptiste, my Infernape, and my opponent goes for the Toxic. So, I actually really strongly expected the outswitch, so I went for the U-turn. A Life Orb U-turn does no damage. This is, in fact, a physically defensive Leafeon. And my opponent made this crazy play and stayed in on an Infernape. If that was a prediction, which I suspect it was, well done, sir. That was pretty damn ballsy of you. So I'm forced to go into my Tentacruel to take either a knockoff or a whatever. I didn't really know what it wanted to go for. And I'm going to go back into Baptiste to take the predicted Leaf Blade. So he's really messed me up. I didn't think that he was going to go for the same ballsy play twice. So I expected him to switch out, and I went for the Thunder Punch, hoping for Suicune to come out, but knowing I could do damage to the Houndoom in case. It was a bit risky because I would have just been sat there like a sitting duck if he'd managed to stay in, but I mean, at least I think it was risky, you know, but he's got the propensity to stay in, so Jesus. Anyway, he switched in the Houndoom trying to get a Flash Fire boost. I was worried about this, which is why I went for the Thunder Punch instead of the Fire Punch. I was really hoping for that Suicune, you know? And I go for the U-turn just to kill it, and Syndragosa is out! She's here! She's queer! And I don't want to take a U-turn to the face, so I'm going to switch back out into Baptiste. This was a bad play! This was a bad play because my mindset for this was completely wrong. I was thinking, I'm just going to fodder Baptiste. Bad idea! Do you see the Leafeon? Goodness gracious. So it was an awful idea, but thankfully I managed to live the U-turn, that ridiculous, stupid play I just made. And I predict the Sucker Punch, so I'm going to go into Flossie to take the expected. Does it happen? Yes, it does. So I'm kind of okay here. My opponent didn't Mega Evolve, so I decided to go for the Roar because I wasn't sure what my opponent was going to do. And my opponent went into the Leafeon. Roar would be more effective because we'd be able to get rid of it, and Earthquake would do absolutely no damage because it's resisted and physically defensive, and oh god. But thanks to my screwy luck, we managed to get the Suicune on the Roar, so yay, Russian Roulette is turning out to be a real ball ache at this point. But anyway, we're going to switch back into Megan Fox because, you know, as I said, she likes getting wet, so it's no big deal, it's no big deal. We're going to take the Scald, not get burnt because she also doesn't like getting burnt. Who does? Who does, honestly? And finally, we're going to go for the knockoff, get rid of this thing's passive recovery. And the Scalds are coming. My opponent's trying to get the burn, and honestly, they should get the burn. They really should at this point. There's been 3 Scalds. But deciding that's been a complete and utter waste of time, they do decide to go for the Calm Mind. And I was like, tits! This is awful! So I'm going to switch out and go into Lulu, my Celebi, who is max HP, I believe. Yes, max HP, max speed, timid nature, a baton passing piece of crap. That's just going to go for the nasty plot and power up my Alakazam and my Hydreigon and so on. But at this point, I'm like, I'm just going to nasty plot in this thing's face because I want to Giga Drain it and have its, you know, devour its insides and so on. Normal Celebi things. But Lulu is very sweet. I do like her very much. I've never used a Celebi before, so I decided to try and use a really evil one. It's not that good, to be honest. But we're going to go for the Giga Drain as my opponent makes a good play, goes into Metagross to take the Giga Drain. I can't touch this thing because my last move is Recover. So I've got nothing to hit this thing with. I'm going to change Lulu though, I think. I'm going to change this team because I have a gigantic weakness to Bug, which you may have noticed that team preview. Giant weakness. As I said, not very good in Yu. I'm not able to see my weaknesses very well. I'm weak to Galvantula specifically, which is stupid. Anyway, my opponent's going to set up the Stealth Rocks, and my Hippo is just kind of like... At this point, I do believe I went for the Roar again. Yes, it does happen, and the Leafeon is going to get roared out into the Absol. And I thought my opponent might want to actually stay in this time, expecting me to roar, so he goes to the Superpower. And, yeah, and we're going to take some damage, but we are able to go for the Earthquake, which is going to kill the Absol, so that's another Pokemon down! I think it might be the first Pokemon down, actually. I don't really know. Anyway, the Absol is dead, and that's a very happy story for me. But out comes this Suicune! Once more, and I really can't do anything to this Suicune. I just can't, and I don't really want to. So we're going to switch on to Lulu to take whatever hit this thing wants to go for, and that turns out to be Scald. And I don't really like this very much. I'm just going to take it, and it's just sort of going to be alright. But Suicune doesn't really want to stay on me, so my opponent is going to withdraw and go into the Metagross once again to take the expected Giga Drain. But the thing is, it's not bad because we're going to be getting the Stealth Rock damage on these things, and that's pretty good. That's like, you know, it's a really good thing. So I'm just going to go for the Recover because I need Lulu in good shape to continuously take hits from the Suicune. It's very good that I actually had her with me because otherwise I'd have absolutely no hope. So I'm going to go into Floss as my opponent is just going to sit there and chill and, you know, be evil. And back out comes the Leafeon, and I actually went for the Earthquake here because I was thinking, oh, I've gone for Roar every other time, maybe they're just going to stay in this time. That would be really cool, wouldn't it? But really I just should have kept spamming Roar because there's nothing Metagross can do to touch me. And this Leafeon's going to come out here, and I was like, oh, well, it's a yellow, so that's not bad. We can just sort of deal with it. That's going to be okay. But, as you're going to see, Disappointment Incarnate is going to make an appearance. There! The Synthesis! And I was like, yeah! When I saw that, because obviously that's very bad. So I'm going to go for the Draco Meteor right now, just trying to get as much damage as possible. I want to kill this Suicune because that's the only thing that can really deal with me particularly well, and I'm like, yeah, this is good, we're gonna go for that Draco Meteor. It's going to do enough damage to take out this bloody thing. Suicunes are so hard to kill, man. They are for me anyway. So out comes Bite Size. This was the stupidest play I've ever made in my whole life. I stayed in. Why did I do that? What I should have done here was switch it into Infernape. I know what you're thinking, there's a Leafeon there though, brah, and you can spin away the rocks with Tentacruel and stuff. Yeah, but I should have done that anyway, because we'd have been able to you know, get the switch initiative on this thing. We would have been able to keep Syndragosa and Dark Pulse everything in the world, and as long as I kept Flossie alive, it would have been great. So that was a gigantic misplay on my part. I can't tell you how big that misplay was. Anyway, so right now I'm trying to put the other plan into motion, which is to get rid of the Stealth Rocks and let my Infernape come in and punch stuff. So my opponent's going to go for that Zen Headbutt, and that's going to be super effective and take out Megan Fox, and even Burnt it's going to take out Megan Fox because Metagross's power and it's weak to Zen Headbutt. So now this was another stupid decision on my part. I sent in a slower Pokemon on the Pokemon that puts up the rocks, so now I can't use my Infernape anyway. So it was like, I make mistakes a lot, and it's good to have battles like these to show, so that you can see that I make mistakes and you can see what not to do. So yeah, so this thing is going to come out. It's going to want to Toxic me again, so I'm going to go into Lulu. And because Lulu has the natural cure, that's why I'm not burnt still, and you know, it's pretty good and stuff like that. So we're just going to go for the Nasty Pop. We need to try and do enough damage to this Leafeon, because right now we don't do any damage to it with our Giga Drains, and this thing is so strong. It's Leafeon, okay? It's worth just showing this just because of Leafeon putting in the work, to be honest. So the Synthesis is a thing, the Stalling is a thing, and this Leafeon is just powerful. It's just bulky on the right side. It needs to be hit with the right type. It needs to be hit with a fire type move. It just does, but I don't have those right now because I made the dumbass play with my Infernape. Anyway, so I'm gonna switch out and go into Baptiste just to fodder him because I need to get rid of the poison on my Lulu, because I need Lulu to be able to beat this Leafeon properly. If I can get to a decent amount with a nasty plot, then I can do some work to this thing. Now, what I want you all to know is at this point, I suddenly realised I don't know if I can win. I don't think I can. And I'm going to explain that to you in a moment. So I'm going to go into Flossie and get knocked off, and that's fine. And I was trying to bait the Toxic so I could get a safe switch into my Alakazam. So my opponent is going to do that, is going to go for the Toxic, so that was successful. And the reason why I really needed to get Alakazam out is because I needed to hurt this thing for heavy damage with a Psychic. And I was trying to get this to happen at a later stage, maybe when the Leafeon could be killed by the Psychic, because that way I could preserve my Focus Sash and stuff for the Uxie, which can kill me with a U-turn, and it's faster than me because it's Scarfed. At least I think it is. It should be. Yeah, I'll spend her Draco for some reason. Anyway, my opponent's going to go into Bite Size to take the Psychic move. This is really dumb. I don't have Shadow Ball on my Alakazam yet. I'm going to change that, and you should never run an Alakazam without Shadow Ball. Never do that. There's literally, it's the stupidest thing in the whole entire world. Don't do it. Otherwise you get walled by Psychic types. So you need to go and do that. And the U-turn is going to destroy my feelings, so I'm going to go into my Hippowdon. If I had the Shadow Ball, I might have a chance of outspeeding it, but it's not going to happen. It's Scarfed. I'm pretty sure it's Scarfed anyway. So going to U-turn into the Leafeon, and I was like, oh god, this is really bad. And the thing is, Flossie can take hits from the Azelf. Not Uxie. Have I said Uxie? I really hope I haven't. From the Azelf. Flossie can, but the Azelf levitates. I can't hurt it. I can't hit it. Lulu will die to a 4 times effective U-turn. I can't kill it, and it can outspeed Alakazam because it's Scarfed. I can't actually kill the Azelf. So I was like, oh jeez, I really hope he doesn't notice this. I really hope he doesn't notice this. But now I've instilled a sense of paranoia into my opponent. My opponent does not want me to switch out into the Alakazam, does not want me to get a free switch out into Alakazam, and because of that, I am free to keep going for nasty plots and recovers, as my opponent is too scared to go for the Toxic, which would honestly be the end of me. So that play earlier with Hippowdon was very important, was very useful. With Hippowdon and Alakazam, it was very useful to instill that sense of fear, and that's the kind of thing you want to do sometimes, maybe, to sort of influence your opponent's brain process, thoughts, things. Anyway, so right now what is occurring is this nasty plotting situation, because I just need to be able to do enough damage to this Leafeon at this point, and I'm really hoping that my opponent switches out the Azelf for whatever crazy reason. And it comes out! And it comes out! So I'm gonna be able to go for the Giga Drain and kill Bite Size. And honestly, that shouldn't have happened. That should not have happened. No, it really, really shouldn't have. Because as I was looking at it, I was like, I actually can't kill this thing unless he switches it in to take a hit. I can't kill it. So we're gonna go for the Giga Drain now. +4 Giga Drain. I'm not specially invested, so that's why it's not doing, like, I mean, it's still doing a decent amount of damage, all things considered, but like, it would be doing more if I was actually invested in special attack. But this is just a baton passing fiend, so we're just gonna keep going for Giga Drain. And my opponent has either run out of synthesis or doesn't want to stall this out anymore. So the knockoff is here, and because of that knockoff, we're gonna be able to take it out with the next Giga Drain. Boom! We're gonna defeat this Leafeon, that's right, that's causing me problems. To be honest, I don't really underestimate Pokemon based on their tier. I really don't, because basically in the right team, an NU Pokemon can be good. Like, it doesn't really matter if your teammates complement it. It doesn't really matter the tier. The team structure is what's most important. The synergy. So, good job, Aiden. That was a really great game. It was actually 45 minutes long, so yeah, it was crazy. So thank you for appearing on the channel today, Aiden. I really do hope you enjoyed that battle, folks. The question of the day is going to be, what is what makes you happy? And answer this question as simply or as complicatedly as you like. For me, money, bitches, wealth. No, I don't know. Just feeling appreciated, feeling loved, being able to love in return. I think that's most important to me, because I get awfully grumpy if I can't, cuddle somebody or whatever, blah blah. It doesn't have to be like I get awfully needy if I'm not in a relationship. I don't mean it like that. I mean like friends and stuff. I really appreciate friends. I obviously appreciate my partner a lot, and like, love's important and stuff. Very sappy sounding. I'm just trying not to get too sappy, because otherwise you'd be like, oh, you're gross. And that's subscribe. And I don't want that to happen. I've rambled on long enough. Yeah. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon, my friends. Bye-bye!